Hello everyone and welcome to FiST Chat, the vodcast that features discussions on the topics of film, science and technology. My name is Ben Warner and I'm joined once again by my good friend and colleague Steve Kern. How you doing today, Steve? All good?
Yes, hi everyone out there in FiST Chat land, we know all about you.
Yeah, that's right. We're tracking you as we speak. Where are those tracking cookies that we had implanted into our site?
That's right.
So if wherever you visit next, you're going to see a FiST Chat logo, guaranteed. So if you haven't inferred already from what we're suggesting here, we're talking about privacy again. We did talk about privacy once before in FiST Chat 19 last year.
That's right.
This is sort of a continuation of that, only in the sense that in recent days, Google's been thrown into the spotlight with their recent unified privacy policy, which in effect all it means is that there's one privacy policy across all their services. And of course, everyone's come out and, started to get up in arms about what this means, whether it's Big Brother, all that sort of stuff. Are we heading closer to a 1984 world? Who knows what's happening? But what was your initial reaction to all of that, Steve?
Oh, big bad Google, obviously. No, I think, as we'll probably talk about, I don't know what all the fuss is about. I mean, I do understand people being concerned about privacy, and Google are. If you have a Google account, I mean, this is what this privacy policy is all about. If you've got a Google account in Chrome or Gmail, as you use services, as you search within Google, as you use any of those services, look at anything, use maps, data location, whatever, Google will collate all that information and use it to target you with some pop-up advertising. Is it that bad?
And it's not really that different to what anyone else would be doing. And I was actually
damn straight it ain't. That's why I don't know what the problem with Google is.
I mean, even if you just look at their contemporary companies, you got Apple, Facebook, all of them. Facebook in particular has to be doing it. You actually put in all of your interests, all of your everywhere you visited or whatever, and they are looking at that and they're targeting specific ads for it, and that's what this is for. But the thing that got me about this is that Google's actually not doing anything really different as far as the amount of data they're collecting on you when you visit their sites or use their services. It's not that. It's just that they're able to, in a sense, cross-pollinate their data collection by, so for example, you search for something in a Google search, and all of a sudden, when next time you're on YouTube, you'll see ads that relate to the search that you did on Google, or you might even get suggested videos that are related to that, or et cetera, et cetera. If you look across,
that will explain some of the ads I've been getting lately. But I mean, on that, I think, as you're saying there, this has just become one of those regular feature internet/media stories that people love. The notion of Big Brother, the notion that, somebody's following you about, tracking you and using your data is one that we all love. And next week it'll be Apple, and the week after that it'll be Microsoft, and the week after that it'll be Facebook. We've already had all these stories before, and I can't really believe that anyone who types all that info into Facebook or Twitter or any of these, or logs onto the Apple Store or, goes to MSN or Google, I can't believe these people don't know that this data's being stored and they're being watched.
But the thing is, like, people, for example, don't have any issue with loyalty cards or, or any of that sort of thing. And that's exactly what those guys are doing. If you sign up for a, say, for example, with a supermarket chain, a loyalty card, every time you scan the card, they're going to record everything you've bought. And then they'll send you emails relating, you bought this. The email won't say you bought this stuff and we think you might find this interesting, but subtly they'll send you some ad that's related to whatever it was that you were buying. So, but people have no problem with signing up for that because they think they can get, rewards points same thing with credit cards. You get loyalty bonuses and whatever else, frequent flyer points.
But this is far more insidious than what Google's doing. I mean, firstly, Google provides you a whole range of services for free, right? So you sign up, well, that's your choice. You don't have to.
Yeah.
But the loyalty programs you're talking about, they are really surreptitious, and they're highly insidious, because they have your credit card details, they have your location, they have your mobile phone number very often. Exactly as you're saying, they know when, how, and what you like to buy. And they don't just target you on the internet, as you're browsing, and they don't just target you through email. They send direct mail to your home. They get marketing agencies to ring you up. They send you spam via SMS, and yet nobody seems concerned about that. And you pay for that privilege. Google gives you their services for free. I think it's a fair trade that you give them a little bit of information.
Oh, exactly. So it seems a bit of a storm in a teacup looking at some of what these guys are talking about. Fair enough, maybe there's a little bit of concern, but you don't have to use the service as well if you're so concerned about your data being accessed or used for the wrong purposes.
Well, I would ask this, though. I mean, considering that, Google is no better or worse than any of the other sites or search sites or utilities that we use on the web, what is your alternative then if you don't want to be tracked? Is there one?
Oh, who knows?
Is this what we should be concerned about? Is Google a bit like petrol, and we all use it, and if it's taken away from us, we're going to riot in the streets?
Well, you raise a good point. I mean, if you're thinking of search on the internet, Google's the first place you're going to be going to. I mean, I'm sure
out of FiST.
Well, I'm sure Microsoft's trying hard to get Bing up and running, but it's got some nice, cute features. But at the end of the day, people think Google. There's a reason why Google has become it's a dictionary word now. It's a verb. You Google something. It's not that didn't happen by accident. It's just how it's come up. So, but again, it's if you're so concerned about these things, then really you shouldn't be using their services and maybe even the internet.
That's a very good point, Ben. That is a very good point. We should all stop. What's going to happen to FiST Chat?
Well, no. You keep looking at FiST Chat, everyone, but everything else, don't look at it. Go out and enjoy the fresh air, the sunshine. Kick a ball around. It'll all be nice and healthy for you. Just another thing that I noticed just doing some of the research for this topic. Even in the EU has gotten involved in this and has kicked up a big stink. This is sort of on the government end of the hysteria, and they're looking at how Google might be in breach of EU law, and they're all concerned about. What they're concerned about is the aggregating of this data to, obviously, for the purposes that we're going along. The EU's had a bit of a history of getting stuck into technology companies. Microsoft was obviously got the short end of the stick with them as well quite some time ago. I'm not sure if you know too much about it, Steve, but is there something different going on over there? That are they just more touchy about that sort of stuff, or why isn't anyone else getting upset with this sort of stuff?
The EU are very big on human rights issues, and they would see this as a libertarian cause. Now, I'm not going to. I hope this isn't taken in the wrong way, but governments have all our data. In fact, they've got more of our important data than Google does, and Google's only going to try and sell us, a new pair of sneakers or perhaps a new car or something like that. The government does have all your personal data. Now, I wouldn't for a second suggest that any government is really a big brother government, or they're going to use your information for anything other than good governance and services for you as an individual. But there is something that isn't really being properly addressed yet when it comes to governments and privacy, and that's that all around whatever government or country you're in, that data is accessible probably to tens of thousands of individuals every day, and that they're just government workers, but people have access to people's data. And I actually think that longer term, government's going to have to look at that, because they're probably less secure than with their data than Google is. I don't know if anyone's got a view on that. We should tweet that. But I mean, that's something that I think even governments need to be concerned about down the track.
And do you think with the way, this sort of hysteria's popped up as far as Google's privacy is concerned, that there might be some sort of renewed push to try and regulate this type of activity because of some perceived, threat, whether it's real or otherwise?
Well, the other thing that, of course, is big at the moment is the phone hacking scandal.
Yeah.
And I mean, if there's one thing that must have taught everybody now, is that your data's not safe. If it's stored anywhere else other than where you have control over it, nobody can give you 100% guarantee that your data is safe anywhere else. And this is a huge issue that I don't think we've faced yet. I think, phone hacking, sure, probably everyone goes, well, that's great, it was some celebrities. Was it 100 people? Big deal.
Yeah. But
we've seen Sony hacked in the last year. We've seen some, big reputable places, come under sustained cyber attack. I think it's not science fiction to suggest that in the not too distant future, something huge is going to happen, and it may well change the way we use the internet thereafter.
Well, maybe that's the internet is still sort of a new frontier as far as this is concerned. The internet's been around for a while now, but the way it's used these days, it's more and more people are using it with their private personal details, financial details, and now it's just a way of life as far as that's concerned. Using your credit card over the net might have been anathema, like 10 years ago or 15 years ago, but now it's the standard way that you buy things almost.
Exactly. And people don't seem that concerned about that. That's why I find it really interesting. I certainly think that government should raise the question about Google. I mean, I personally don't really like the way that our information is stored on the internet and we're tracked on the internet. That's a personal choice, but I do what I can to limit that information being used by others. But I think it's a valid question. We should be mindful of what these things mean, but I think at every level, Facebook and Twitter seem harmless, but if your name, birthday and location, they're the three things somebody needs to become you. Yeah. People have to remember that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're about out of time now, so thanks again, Steve, for the chat. Always interesting, and we will revisit this one, I'm sure, because it's sort of in its infancy in a way, just dealing with all of this, and maybe one day something more significant may happen to warrant a more alarmist reaction.
If it does, we'll be talking about it on FiST Chat. Tweet us if you've got any ideas. And
as we said at the top, we'll be tracking you. All of the cookies that we've put in, they're all tracking you right now. So, but it's all good. It's all just to sell our Kool-Aid to you. That's all.
That's it.
Cool. So that's it for this week's episode. So you can catch our website, www.fistchat.com. Get all our links there. We'll have some blogs up this week on this topic. So that's it. So we'll catch you next week.